this thing here. I'm looking this away. Okay. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. All right, so we are live. YouTube. All right, we are live. Facebook. We are live on Rumble. Shalom, everyone, and welcome once again to Just a Word. And we are here for another Shabbat teaching. We are looking into the topic, the pollutions of the Gentiles. And today we are going to be looking at 3 major pollutions that are coming from the Gentiles as regards to the Bible and how it is manifested today, and what we do need to do. What we do need to do in order to avoid this pollution. Hello? What we do need to do to avoid this pollution, the pollutions of the Gentiles. Because last week we looked at Babylon, we looked at our world and how our life is. And we have to understand that the nations, the Gentiles, have set up this world based on uncleanness. And that world being set up on uncleanness is in order coming. Yeah, that world being set up on uncleanness is, let me check this thing here. Okay, that world being set up on uncleanness is in order to keep us unclean so that we cannot be right in the eyes of the Most High. Because what we're going to show today, that the most important thing about our salvation is whether we have escaped uncleanness. We have looked at this before, but we are going to look at it in a different way, because this uncleanness thing, we are going to look at it in terms of how Babylon knows that if we are unclean, we cannot make it. No matter how we think we have made it, we cannot make it into the kingdom. And so Babylon sets out to make us unclean so we cannot enter his kingdom. Let me get this thing going here. All right. So begin. All right. One of the greatest errors that we can make is to actually think that we are pure, yet not cleansed from our filthiness. And this is the error of being religious. Think we are pure. Proverbs 30 verse 12. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. Pure in their own eyes, but not washed from their filthiness. So being pure in our own eyes means setting our own standard of righteousness, our own standard of purity, not knowing what the impure is, not knowing the difference between the pure and the impure, not knowing the difference between the kadosh, the holy, and the unholy. When we don't do that, then we will sit back thinking that we are okay, and the Most High is looking on us and saying that you are filthy. You are filthy. Now, we find this in religion today, and we find it among individuals, but more so in religion. For example, in that popular religion that rules the world, they believe they make themselves righteous in their own eyes, eating pork, shellfish, all sorts of abominable things, and then they are still waiting on the Messiah to come and rapture them away. So they are pure in their own eyes, but they have not been cleansed from their filthiness. For such persons, there is no chance of the kingdom, especially in today's world, when the Most High has sent so many people with his word of truth to awaken us. Hey, We were deceived. We were deceived. We were deceived. Many people are speaking. Many people are not listening. So they are pure in their own eyes based on what their religion teaches them, based on what those who come from the theology school teaches them, pure in their own eyes, yet not cleansed from their filthiness. People, we have to be cleansed from filthiness. And we're going to see different aspects of filthiness. We have to be cleansed in order to enter the kingdom. And we're going to show that that is why the Most High told us to do what? Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Because of the impurities of Babylon. Making it almost impossible for us to be cleansed in the midst of Babylon. So, what is the danger of being filthy? Remember, they are pure in their own eyes, and it yet is not washed from their filthiness. The danger of being filthy. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of Allure, and that the Ruach of Allure dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of Allure, him shall Allure destroy. For the temple of Allure is Kadosh, which temple ye are. So our bodies is a temple. If any man defile this body, Yahuwah will destroy us. Very important to understand this. The body, if we defile the body, and the body there refers to everything from the physical body to the mind. So if we defile it, the Most High will destroy us. So our whole call of salvation is to not get this body defiled. Without it, we could know everything in the scriptures. We could be talking scriptures here and there. If we defile this body, then the Most High says he will destroy us. So we must be set apart. We must be holy. We must be kadosh. And we're going to look now at the New Testament kadosh, because emphasis was most often placed in the Old Testament on cleanliness. But we're going to show in the New, we have to show in the New Testament the importance of being cleansed. 2 Corinthians 6 verses 14 to 18. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? So this is having fellowship with unbelievers, with those who are unrighteous. When we become believers, we have to understand the Most High wants us to be set apart together as believers. I was having a discussion. Somebody commented on my YouTube the other day, and they were saying that we should, every man should teach everyone. And it's pride makes you not want everyone to teach us. All of us should be teaching one another. And I told him, no, that's not what the Most High says. We can learn from each other through conversations. But as to teaching each other, the Most High sets us apart. He sets us apart and puts us together so that we can edify one another. And when he puts us together, he puts an order where we are. And he will give us a teacher where we are. Very simple. But anyone can learn from anyone, especially if we are searching out something. But it's not everybody going around teaching everyone. That is why so many people have been destroyed on the internet. So many. We go and we hear something that sounds nice here. And then we go and we hear something that sounds nice over there. We put them together and we said, okay, that is what I believe in. And you pick them. When the Most High gives you someone to teach you, a lot of the times you are not going to agree. A lot of the times you may not be able to see. But being together, the Most High will eventually let you see what the person is saying. But if that person is in error, you will also see it. And then when you see error among that person, that you and that person cannot be one, then it's time to depart from that person. Okay? So be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. So when you are a believer, you're set apart. You cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So going on the internet with people who believe different things, that is being unequally yoked. You have to be together with people who are of one accord, one mind, one heart. So when we become believers, we have to set ourselves apart. And what concord hath Hamashiach with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? So we as believers, being with unbelievers is very, very hard for our salvation. Very, very difficult when we are together with unbelievers. And what agreement hath the temple of Allua with idols? For ye are the temple of the living Allua, as Allua hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their Allua, and they shall be my people. So these idols now form a large part of our teaching today. Idolatry. And idolatry, fornication, idolatry is prevalent today because the nations, the Gentiles, gave us an idol. They gave us idols to worship, idols to honor as the Most High. All right? We have often told people Jesus Christ is Jesus Christos. And not only that, they took Jesus Christos, gave it to us as Jesus Christ, and they gave us an image of the son of a pope and said to worship that image as the Most High. So it's downright idolatry in every single way. All right? The word God, G-O-D, of course, is fortune, the god of luck, another idol that they gave us. But they made us, as it says in Ezekiel 14:4, set up the idols in our hearts, in our minds. So we think they're invisible, but it's the name of an idol they gave us to worship. Not only the name, but also the attributes of an idol. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith Yahuwah, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So it's a separation that we have to make. When we come out, we have to separate and do not touch the unclean thing. This is the New Testament. And I will receive you. So a condition for him receiving us is 1, come out from among them, 2, being separate, and 3, not touching anything that is unclean. And as a result, he will receive us and will be a father unto you, and he shall be my sons and daughters, says Yahuwah Almighty. Okay, so that's the importance of being set. Say, touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Touch not the, and I will receive you. So when you come out, gather together, then you know, make it your point of duty never to touch again any uncleanness. Okay? So we must be set apart. We must be set apart. And this is New Testament again. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 1. Only because the popular religion of this world will make you believe that the only problem in this world is spiritual problem. Yes? They don't focus on the flesh, pollution of the flesh, filthiness of the flesh. And filthiness of the flesh, of course, is going to relate to everything that goes against the word, the law of the Most High. Very simple. So for example, Deuteronomy 22:5 says, a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. So the pants that pertains to a man today, that is filthiness of the flesh. Most we have to pay attention to it. So the word filthiness there is mollusmos. That is a stain. That is figuratively immorality. Filthiness. So everything that is immoral, everything that goes against the law of the Most High, yes, everything that goes against the law of the Most High, we have to keep ourselves against that. The word says a woman's must not pray nor prophesy with her head covered. A woman praying or prophesy with her head uncovered, that is filthiness of the ruach. Filthiness of the ruach. So, meaning of filthiness means defilement, an action by which anything is defiled. So, any defilement of the flesh or the spirit, we are going to be in serious problems. These are things that people don't speak about, but these are things that are utterly important to your salvation. There are some people that are telling you, oh, all you have to do is believe in Jesus. All you have to do is this. All you have to do is... Salvation is way, way deeper than we think it is. Way, way deeper. That is why Hamashiach said before he left, he said, he that endureth to the end shall be saved. It's not an easy road. He that endureth, throw any stones at me again, because you have looked at it so often, the world as it is, and they actually want to stop us with anything at all. But what they use, it is uncleanness, impurity, pollutions that come from them. The world is a polluted world deliberately so. There is a reason why the Gentiles enact laws that ensure that we are polluted. There's a reason why they have LGBTQRSTW thing going. It is to pollute the world. It is to keep the world polluted. There is a reason they have so many laws that go against the Bible, and we find it outrageous. Because if they keep it that way and force us to follow those ways, so for example, when we have believers now starting to accept the LGBTQ alphabet thing, then they have us. So now today you have alphabet people in Christianity. You have two men, pastor having husband, a woman pastor, which is also an abomination, having wives. All of those things are to change and to make the whole world polluted. And Christianity, that religion was supported in order to keep the whole world polluted, as we're going to see. So Psalms 83 verses 1 to 8. This is a Psalms that we should know by heart. Let's go through it quickly. Psalms 83, 1 through 8. Just want to highlight a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O Allure. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Allure. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. This is what is happening in this world. The Most High's enemies have lifted up the head against him and his people in this end time. This gender thingy about changing gender and all of those things. These are the Most High's enemies raising up their head against the Most High. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. These are his people they have taken counsel against. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharal may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. And it goes on to name the nations, starting with the children of Edom. Now this confederation, to let them not be a nation anymore, includes pollution, includes polluting our people, because being polluted, they can cut us off from being a nation, because the Most High will have nothing to do with uncleanness, and they know that, so they run their world in uncleanness. Staying in their world, when we wake up and we are in their world, we know that staying in the midst of them is actually staying in their uncleanness and giving them every opportunity to cut us off from being a nation. Jeremiah 50, verse 7. All that found them have devoured them. These are the children of Yasharal. And their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahuwah, the habitation of justice, even Yahuwah, the hope of their fathers. So what this is saying, that they know who we are. And wherever we are, they devour us. And they hold themselves guiltless, because they say, we have sinned against Yahuwah. So they have all right to punish us and to treat us how they treat us. And so they keep us in uncleanness in order to keep us away from the Most High. So never get it twisted. The Gentiles are the ones who gave us the Bible. And so the Gentiles, they know the blessings that are in the Torah for us. They do know the blessings and they do know the curses. Let's look at the blessings that they know, and so they try to ensure that these blessings are never ever achievable by us. What we are trying to show you is that knowledge of the nations who deliberately, and sometimes we see them doing some things and we are surprised. Why are they doing this? They are doing it deliberately. Deliberately. To keep us polluted so that we do not go back to the commandments. Something that we've said over and over, but we need to lay a foundation. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently, this is a condition, unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that Yahuwah thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. There we go. This is it. If we hearken diligently to observe and to do all his commandments, then the Most High will set up us on high above them, all these nations. They know this. They know this. And guess what? They try to ensure, and their whole task is to ensure that we do not observe all the commandments of the Most High. That is why he says in Psalms 147, this is why he said this in Psalms 147, verses 19 to 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Yasharal. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahuwah. I am going to tell you right now, if you are being led by a Gentile, you have to watch yourself. Because the Most High is not going to show them his words, because he told us in Ezekiel 35, verse 5, that they have a perpetual, is it Ezekiel 35? That they have a perpetual hatred for his people. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Yashrael by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, therefore, as I live, saith Yahuwah Elohim, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. This is speaking, of course, to Mount Seir, the children of Edom. So these people know who we are, and they know the blessings that we have. It is in their best interest to get us on the wrong track, so that we do not get the blessings that comes from the Most High. So they know the blessings. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim. Barak shalt thou be in the city, and Barak shalt thou be in the field. Barak shall be the fruit of thy body, thy children, and the fruit of thy ground, thy produce, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Barak shall be thy basket and thy store. Barak shalt thou be when thou comest in, and Barak shalt thou be when thou goest out. Yahuwah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. These that we just spoke, these are the barakah, the blessings that are upon the Gentiles, not upon us, because the Gentiles kept us in uncleanness. And keeping us in uncleanness, we continue to transgress against the way of the Most High. Yahuwah shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and it goes on, and in all that thou settest thine hand to do, unto, and he shall barack thee in the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee. This is speaking to the Gentiles, not us. So Yahuwah shall establish thee as set apart people unto himself, as he had said, as he had sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and walk in his ways. And walk in his ways. So their aim and intention is that we do not walk in the ways of Yahuwah. We are underlying this so you get it clear. When we as the children of Yahshua wake up, we need to set ourselves apart under our leadership of our people, hearing from the Most High. And if Gentiles want to join themselves to us, Gentiles cannot be the ones who are dictating to us, telling us, teaching us. Okay? And all people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of Yahuwah, and they shall be afraid of thee. These are the blessings that are upon the Gentiles, not upon us. Nobody's afraid of us. We don't have any army to beat anyone, to let anyone be afraid of us. Yes? And Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahuwah swore unto thy fathers to give thee. All of these barakah are upon the Gentiles, the nations. And you can read up to verse 14. So they know all of these blessings. So keep us unclean, and they are good. They will continue to enjoy these blessings. Bible people, the Bible is about a nation that all the world hates, and the rest of the nations that take opportunity of this nation being in sin. And so the other nations, they try their best to keep these people in sin so that they can remain ruling the entire world. So the Gentiles know the curses for our disobedience. Therefore, they keep us in the curses so that we remain disobedient, so that we can remain under them. All right? Deuteronomy 28:15 to 19. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. The Gentiles know these. They have the scriptures, they know. So keep us polluted, and they are good. We will remain cursed, and they will remain barak. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. And if you listen to the curses, you will realize who the children of Israel are, and you will realize that these are the things that are upon us today. The Gentiles know that, and they want it to remain so. They are going to run their world, so we are polluted. Our task is to overcome. Our task is to ensure that we escape from the pollution of the Gentiles. If we remain among the Gentiles and remain with the Gentiles, we will remain in their pollutions. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Yahuwah shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, whatever, and it goes on and on and on. You can read it for yourself. Just laying the foundation as to how the world is run, what exactly the world is. Let me turn this thing here. What exactly the world is for us today. Okay? So, the Gentiles also know that as long as they remain our enemies also, they will prosper. So it's not only us remaining unclean and disobeying the commandments of the Most High. And that, by the way, that is why they gave us this religion called Christianity that tells us that the law is done away with. It is so that we continue to disobey the Most High, and so we cannot end up being gathered together by him. Lamentations 1 verse 5. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. Notice I underline that. As long as they remain our adversaries, as long as they remain our enemies, they will prosper. That is why, and having that perpetual hatred for us, that is why the Gentiles always hate us. And we wonder, why do these people hate us? Why do they hate us so? What have we done to them? They brought us over in the Americas in slavery. We built their nation with free labor, and these people still despise us. What have we done to them? These nations know, my people, they know exactly what it is. They know that as long as they remain our enemies, they will prosper. So they also know that if we are in uncleanness and not know, we are still guilty before the Most High. This is something that we have to understand, people. These are things that we have gone through before. Leviticus 5